UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli, coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere deep in the heart of Santa Monica Mountains. By the way, the Santa Ana winds are blowing. Always gets the hair on the back of my neck standing up. We lost our home in the 2018 fire, but the Lord was good. Many of you contributed to the rebuild. We thank you for that. And we're back in a new home. We've been here 4 years this December, but I don't want to go through that again. Anyway, we'll get into this. 3-Eye Atlas, it's an update. Avi Loeb on Fox News about 27 hours ago. There's no new information that I am aware of, so I'm going to run with this. Let's see what he has to say, and we will go from there. But first, a word from our very trusted sponsors. Folks, a meta-analysis of 23 controlled trials show that people taking collagen supplements saw real improvements in skin hydration, elasticity, and reductions in wrinkle depth. That means collagen isn't just a beauty fad. It's one of the most studied supplements proven to actually change how your skin looks and feels. This is why I use it every single day. Ageless Multi-Collagen. Folks, I love the way it makes my skin look. It supercharges my skin with 5 types of premium collagen needed to help reduce wrinkles. Since I started drinking collagen daily, I've noticed smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer lines, and a youthful glow. And at 75 years old, I definitely need it. Plus, it also helps improve my joint health, bone strength, and connective tissues. Grab a bag of Ageless Multi-Collagen, 51% off at healthwithla.com. That's www.healthwithla.com, and start experiencing real results. Plus, they have a promotion right now that includes free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin. A 60-day, think about this, folks, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee and free shipping with every order. Once again, folks, healthwithla.com. That's healthwithla.com. So, alien technology. Now, I'm going to run this very slow, and I watched some of it, but not the whole thing. I want to call your attention as the host of the show begins his introduction. Listen to the laughter in the background, and then I'll stop it and we'll talk about it. So here we go.
Big news for stargazers. A comet making its way through our solar system, apparently growing a tail. So what does that mean?
Okay, right there, you hear the Okay, that's his co-host.
My next guess is a 40% chance that it is alien technology. Harvard professor Avi Loeb is with me now. Sir, good morning to you. Listen, when you say alien technology, people want to know, what are you talking about? So,
okay, right there, you hear the little This is scripted, in my opinion. Now, this is conjecture. I can't prove this one way or the other. But these folks are told to keep it light. Don't get serious about it. Keep it light. Keep it lighthearted. Laugh. Ha, ha, ha. I mean, this is a disgrace, in my humble opinion, because this subject needs to be treated with the utmost seriousness. Because if they show up in mile-wide craft, and by the way, you need to go to YouTube and you need to check out the 2024 Super Bowl ad. So put that up in the description on YouTube after the show, please. 2024 Super Bowl ad, hello down there. Why are they making this ad? Why? And why are they rolling it out now? Right? 2024. Not that long ago, folks. Last year's Super Bowl. Okay? So, we're going into 2026. Okay, I get that. But you need to watch that. In my opinion, it's predictive programming. So here you have something very serious. And the headline right underneath it, you can see it. 40% chance comet is alien technology. So, okay, so that's 4 in 10. So 6 in 10 says it's not. And that's what we're going to go with until we have some kind of definitive proof one way or the other. I don't know what we're looking at. I don't have the resources and telescopes to go in and look at this, but apparently Avi Loeb does. And, this guy loves the attention. There's no doubt about it. And he comes from, just think about this. He comes out of nowhere. Nobody knows who this guy is. All of a sudden, he's on the world stage. Just like, Fauci was, right? During COVID. No one ever heard of this guy before. Well, that's not true. People in his sphere of influence have heard of him. But for the most part, nobody knew who Anthony Fauci was. All of a sudden, he's a household word on a global level. On a global level. This guy comes from basically obscurity on some level, and all of a sudden has an international platform. Well, it's the same thing with Avi Loeb. There he is, he's in his office in Harvard, and I think the guy's great. I mean, he's a real smart guy, and I'd love to interview him on this show. I know he was on Paul Begley's show a number of times, but I send him an email, and of course I get no response. But be that as it may, no worries. So let's continue here. But I take umbrage with the fact that they treat this with the woman kind of, isn't that funny? Alien technology, no such thing. It's a tin. Should I wear it? I'm just asking you. Should I wear it? Should I put it on? Maybe I should don my tinfoil hat here, because the subject is still not being treated seriously. So, out of all due respect to former tinfoil hat wearers, I'm going to don my tinfoil hat and have some fun. So here we go. So let's continue.
You, Professor, what are you talking about? It's a blind date of interstellar proportions. We don't know what we are talking about because script writers from Hollywood are not as imaginative as the universe, and we just need to observe. That's my advice on any blind date. Observe the other side before you have an opinion. In this case, the object is anomalous because it comes in the plane of the planets around the sun to within 5 degrees, and the chance of that happening at random is 1 in 500. Moreover, it's very large. It's comparable to the size of Manhattan Island, at least a million times more massive than the first interstellar object that we discovered about 8 years ago. And so the question is, why haven't we seen a million small objects before we see such a giant one? And it also behaved in unusual ways. There was a glow during July and August, a glow extending towards the sun, and only in September it started developing a tail away from the sun, the way comets do. And it has also arrived from the direction of the WOW signal from 1977, a radio signal that we couldn't figure out that was definitely extragalactic. So it has a lot of anomalies, about 8 of them that I listed, each of them with a small probability. And my point is that although it may well be a comet and of natural origin, it could also be something like a Trojan horse, a Black Swan event where we say it's very unlikely for a spaceship to arrive at our backyard, but nevertheless, we should keep that as a possibility because the implications would be huge.
Okay. So let me stop there. So on one hand, Avi Loeb, and I just love kind of dissecting all this. On one hand, Avi Loeb is saying, well, it grew a tail. It might be a comet. More than likely, it's a comet. On the other hand, it could be a Black Swan event. Well, which is it, Avi? Why are you even uttering that? Why bring that out until we have some sort of concrete evidence that it may be something other than a comet, that it may be a so-called alien ship arriving in our backyard, to use his words. Then he talks about the Trojan horse, and I'm sure he's going to get into that in just a little bit. The idea that this ship is a Trojan horse, and we're looking at it, and it's going to release 100, 200 smaller UFOs into our system and take over the planet. Now, before you start laughing at this, okay, I showed this clip a while back, and you can go and look at it. In the halls of Congress, I think it's number 22 on the rungs of disclosure. Number 22 on the rungs of disclosure. Go to rungsofdisclosure.com and look for the 22nd rung, because this particular congressman is showing a video, which of course at one point was classified. So now it's declassified. He's showing it in Congress, and the UFO is flying, and it looks like an orb. In my opinion, when they turn on the gravity, when they turn on the gravity wave, which enables them to fly at incredible speeds and without any means of propulsion system that we can see. It's a gravity wave. Bob Lazar taught us that. Hats off to Bob. But so it glows. But underneath that glow, in my opinion, is a metallic craft. Use my little prop that Karen Wilkinson gave me. It is a metallic craft, in my opinion. And that's what I'm going with. So as it's flying through the air, it's glowing because it's bending space and time as we know it. So I find all this incredible. And we know from the congressman's video that he showed in the halls of Congress, right? This craft is coming through the airspace outside of Yemen, I believe, and one of our drones fires a Hellfire missile at it. Well, the Hellfire missile just disintegrates and breaks up. The UFO kind of bounces around a little bit, but just keeps on flying. How is it possible? And the congressman says to the panel, "Have you ever seen anything like this? Do we have technology like this?" Everyone says, "No, we have no idea what it is that we're looking at." So this is alarming. And see, this is why I get upset, because Congress is talking about it, and yet, his co-host on the Fox network is treating it, oh, nothing is he here. We're just going to laugh about it. So let's continue.
I need a podcast to get through everything you just said there. But let me ask you a specific question. Put up number one, guys. Third known interstellar object to travel through our solar system. It's categorized as a comet, not an asteroid. Travels 137 miles an hour. Unclear exactly how big, and there's no danger of hitting Earth. I think it's headed toward the sun. So now I understand after reading about this, it has a tail, and then it disappears. And the tail reemerges. Then it disappears. And smart people like you at Harvard are saying that this is a possibility that has the ability to slow itself down. Do I have that right? What would that mean?
That is could be the case when it comes closest to the sun, and that's the best timing, the optimal time for either slowing down or speeding up. It's called the gravitational assist by the sun, and we use it with our own spacecraft. And it will happen tomorrow on October 29th, 2025. That's when the object will be closest to the sun. The only problem is that it's on the other side of the sun. We can't see it. If you look at the sky right now, and it's hiding behind the sun, we can't observe it from Earth. Perhaps for a reason. And the question is, will it release any probes in our direction? We just need to monitor it and observe it, because obviously it would have huge implications for our future if something like that happens.
You got it. Last one and a quick one. When do we know? Is it?
In the coming months, it will come closest to Earth on December 19th, just 6 days before Christmas. And my hope is it will not send us any gifts.
All right, that's my sister's birthday, 33 billion tons of it. And you're on Joe Rogan's podcast later, so we'll be listening. Thank you, Professor.
So, I mean, that's what we're looking at. It's, we really don't know. And with all due respect to Mr. Avi Loeb, Professor Avi Loeb, he's saying that more than likely, well, he's not even saying more than likely it's a comet. But the fact that the tail is there, then it goes away, and the tail is there, and then it goes away, this is some really weird stuff. So we're going to find out something by December 19th. Tomorrow, October 30th, I'm not sure when John's going to put this up or not. I hope he does it today, but we'll see. I'll ask him to do that. But so we still don't know what it is we're looking at. A couple of days ago, I had a New Age channeler with the dowsing rods going like this. And again, she needs prayer. She has no idea what she's tapping into. These entities are not Prometheus. They are not Apollo. Trust me, they're not. They are messengers of deception. I'm quoting Jacques Vallée, but they are messengers of deception, and that's what they are. Folks, let me just say something. Everything, my whole entire worldview is from a biblical prophetic lens. I mean, that's it. And because of that, I am looked upon from the New Agers, as well. You're just a Neanderthal spiritually, LA. You haven't evolved enough yet. You're part of the problem here because you hold on to these dusty pages of your Bible. You bet I do, as hard and tenaciously as I possibly can. That is the truth. The Bible is the only tome on the planet that has a thread of prophecy from the book of Genesis to the book of Revelation. Most people don't know that. Even within the churches, God bless our churches, but they don't teach prophecy for the most part anymore. Most churches, for the most part, do not teach prophecy anymore. And yet it's there. How many prophecies concerning the Lord's first coming? He will be born in Bethlehem, right? Think of the prophecies that surround his death and crucifixion, or his crucifixion and death. I think there's 21 prophetic messages that talk about the Lord's crucifixion and subsequent death. I'll give you some. They looked at me, they pierced my hands and feet. They divided my garments. The bulls of Bashan surround me, right? They divide my garments. My hands and feet are pierced, buried in a rich man's tomb. I mean, it's just, the odds of one man fulfilling any of that in a 24-hour period are astronomical. In fact, there was an analogy, I forget which book it was in, but it talked about if you took a silver dollar, let's use this as a prop. So pretend this is a silver dollar, and you painted that with gold spray paint, and then you put it in a field of other silver dollars, but that field of silver dollars was the size of Texas, and it was 2 feet in depth, and you mixed it all up, and you said, okay, go find the silver dollar. That's the odds. You're never going to find the silver dollar that you sprayed with gold spray paint. So that gives you an idea. It's like 1 to the gazillion zeros after it. The chances of one man fulfilling, I think, is 21 prophecies in a 24-hour period is just absurd. And remember, there's no collusion between the authors. 66 books, Chuck Missler's, right? 6640. 66 books, 40 authors. Yet it's an integrated mesh system, as Chuck's definition of it, and there's no collusion between the authors. Some of the authors who are prophesying this are hundreds of years apart. How does that work out? Well, we don't know. So this is why I tenaciously hold on to the pages of the biblical narrative, because of the thread of prophecy that talks about Messiah. Think about Genesis 3:15, right? Where it says the seed of the dragon will be at enmity with the seed of the woman. So it's offspring. The offspring of the dragon, offspring of Satan, i.e. the Nephilim, will be at enmity, at war with the offspring of the woman. The one coming from the woman, the proto-evangelial, the Mashiach, the Messiah, will crush the dragon's head. It's the first prophecy. It's the first hint of a Messiah. And folks, I think he's coming again soon. I'm not a date setter, but more than likely next Wednesday. Of course, I'm being glib here, tongue in cheek, so please don't take me serious. But with everything that's going on, what are we really looking at here? So circling back, to Avi Loeb, it's the third interstellar object coming into our solar system. I get that. And that's maybe that's all it means, but watching this stuff for decades, they signal things. Atlas is a Nephilim. Okay, Atlas is the god Atlas, the Greek mythos Atlas. He's really not a god, but is demigod, is holding up the world on his shoulders. So that's signaling to me that this is a global event. 3i, third eye, I don't know, maybe. Conjecture. Am I reading too much into it? Perhaps. Third eye. So this event is going to be a global event that will enlighten humanity. Well, that's a stretch. That's a huge stretch. That's conjecture. Underline the word conjecture. Thank you, Pastor Dan. He's always underlining things. But underline the word conjecture, because that's really, for me, that's all I can go on. So, we don't know what we're looking at here. We just got to watch. But I will tell you this, and I'm gonna do a members only on this right after I'm done closing this, because you need to understand that UFOs are obsessed with nuclear sites. So thanks for watching. If you want to become a member, just hit the subscribe button right next to that. You see members. Hit members, sign up. It's less than $10 a month. You get private content that is only members only, 10% off everything in the store, and of course our monthly news magazine. Thanks for supporting us. We really appreciate it. I'll be back in just a few minutes for members only.
It is a beautiful day up here in the 49th state, so I thought I'd take advantage of this good weather window before the snow comes and get out here and look for some tracks and tree structures. If you're wondering about my shirt already, yep, I'm an L.A. Marzulli guy. So L.A. Marzulli, in case you don't know who he is an established author, commentator, and filmmaker. And we had him on the show about a year ago, and we got a lot of heat for that show. And the reason we got heat is because there's a lot of people in the Bigfoot research community that absolutely come unglued if you come from a biblical perspective, namely the Nephilim connection theory where it relates to Sasquatch. And they just come unglued about that. And we got heat. But they were really saying more about themselves than they were about us. So we appreciated that L.A. Marzulli took the time to come to our small podcast and talk to us about the alien phenomenon, as well as the Nephilim connection theory where it relates to Sasquatch. So we encourage you to go check out his website at lamarzulli.net. He's got a lot of great stuff over there. And yeah, in case you're not familiar with the Nephilim connection theory, look into it.
The late Russ Dizdar and I created the Nephilim Mounds conferences, and we had people like Gary Stearman there, Chief Joseph Rivler, of course, Fritz Zimmerman. I mean, he's the guy that got me on the trail of a Nephilim, which resulted in 8 films, and number 9 is coming out soon. But guess what? Here's the Nephilim Mounds collection. There are hours and hours of presentations. Gary Stearman, Fritz Zimmerman, Chief Joseph Rivler, and yours truly, and others weigh in on the Nephilim. And you know what, folks? You can see right here the Great Serpent now. Yeah, we believe that's Nephilim architecture, fallen angel technology. So for $60, you get all these DVDs here. It's absolutely incredible. There are 11 discs in this set, plus a bonus DVD, Watcher 6, The Secret Cosmic War. This is when we went to Peru. And with our guide, Brian Forrester, we learned and ventured to what we believe is fallen angel technology, Nephilim architecture, and it's pre-flood. Go to lamarzulli.com, lamarzulli.com. What are you waiting for? Avail yourself. There's so much teaching, so much good stuff in this 11-disc set. Plus, you get the bonus DVD. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.